I was born in Minnesota. We lived off of Waterford Road. Our closest black neighbors were 3 blocks away, you know, like, and they were teammates. The Lewises. Leo Lewis played for the Vikings, his 2 daughters, and we're still friends. I mean, you still remember them because it's like, hey, they were close enough to look like us. But we had other friends, but you never thought about it until you really thought about it. So what is that, 4? 4 when you realize that it's like, hey, you know, there's a reason why he was like, hey, the black kid over there versus the kid over there. 5, 6, when you come home crying, you're like, I want to be like everybody else? I don't know. When does it settle in that you can't be like everybody else? This is the skin that you're in. But at the same time, it should be accepted everywhere. These racial identities that you have to deal with. My daughter's 4. A year and a half ago, she comes home and, you know, you get the call from the teacher like, hey, she was addressed as brown girl. And of course, at 2 or 3 years old, she doesn't even understand brown versus white versus whatever. So then to come into it and have your son look at him like, he looks like me, why is the police doing that to him? These are questions that you have to answer at 4 years old. I don't know how much sticks, but these are something that have to be addressed and in a right manner.
I'm the one that called you. It was not them.
Anytime you think of what you would call a bad cop, you just think that that person had the authority to take somebody's life or freedom. And as a black man, you think about how years ago, my ancestors, their freedom was taken from them involuntarily. So to have that power in my hands now and to misuse that is just the ultimate deceit. This is absolutely an escape for me, whether it's at home, whether it's at the job. This is just me with friends. They're gunning for me because I don't come out that often, so we'll see who's actually up to the test.
Watch him out, watch him out. Okay.
My friends know who I am, they know the type of person that I am, and they know what I stand for, they know my family, and I think they understand my why and the reason that I'm doing what I do. Yeah, it was a conversation I had when I decided to make the jump from my former career to be a police officer, but them understanding who I am, they understand that I'm doing it because I want to be the change that we want to see. The thing my dad used to tell me was being a police officer here in the city and being a community member were one and the same. So in order to be able to effectively police, you needed to be a community member. You needed to understand the people and what was going on with them.
I mean, obviously you respect them because this job is extremely tough. This is a job that, you know, you don't know what they're running into every day. It's so easy to strip them of their own personal entities and say, hey, this should never come up to this point. And at the same time, this is a job that they chose. This is something that is, I would hope, would have a higher morality standing across the board. You know, there could be a bad apple, there can't be a bad cop. And the fact that, you know, we're seeing some of the stuff we have, there is. And, you know, you can rely on the saying that it isn't all of them, but that doesn't comfort anybody. You may know how to do it, but you can always do your job better. With an innovative situation like Crescent City Courts and the way I think that they go about it, this is only going to help you know your community a little bit better.
One of the main goals of this whole program is to create conversations that wouldn't be happening otherwise. So a big part of this was like, who are the rooted experts in different areas of our city that are doing amazing community work that these police officers in the normal line of their work wouldn't have necessarily reason to encounter them, but they need to. A large part of first responders' jobs, and especially police's job, is encountering trauma, but so often they don't have the opportunity to actually understand the science and the social science behind the forces that they're seeing on their jobs.
Pero también comprendemos de que son parte de esa comunidad We understand that you're also part of the community.
Que antes de ser policía son seres humanos.
That before you became a police officer, you were human beings.
Y eso es lo que me gustaría que nunca olvidaran.
That's what I would like you to never forget.
Que en este tiempo hay bastantes dificultades y la hemos visto, que ha sido bastante difícil la relación entre la comunidad y la policía. ¿Sabe por qué estoy aquí sentada? Porque sé de que personas como mí, ustedes, que sí les importa la comunidad, quieren hacer las cosas diferentes. Antes de la pandemia, nosotros estábamos comenzando una relación de trabajar con Leslie, porque creo de que no ha habido esa comunicación entre la policía y la comunidad. Y Leslie, porque realmente sí tenemos ese interés, que nosotros podamos crear espacios donde nuestra comunidad pueda empezar a tener confianza.
Pero tuve un altercado con la policía, tuve un choque, me detuvieron y él estaba ahí conmigo. Y el niño, él mismo decía, ¿pero por qué, mami? El carro se te metió, decía. Y luego le digo, cálmese, todo va a estar bien. Cuando me llevaron presa, el policía que a mí me estaba tomando las huellas, perdonando la palabra, pero así me dijo, ¿por qué pinches no te vas otra vez para México? ¿Qué estás haciendo aquí si no hablas inglés? Deberías de regresarte, porque aquí hay muchos niños que tienen esas ilusiones de ser policía cuando estén grandes, pero miran todo lo que pasan por las noticias o lo que viven ellos mismos y ya como que esa emoción se les quita a ellos mismos. Le sienten rechazo siempre a los policías.
Porque yo estoy segura que quizás tienen aparatos para interpretación o tienen que llamar, pero hay gente que no lo hace, porque nosotros lo vivimos, o sea, recibimos las quejas de nuestra comunidad porque estamos con nuestra comunidad bastante de cerca, trabajamos con la comunidad.
Leticia also used to wear a uniform. I think for you all to understand that you have a peer in this room too who has spent a lot of her life in public safety systems where she's from. She had to be in situations where people were being sentenced, but there was no justice happening for them.
Yo pasé del lado de la ley al lado de la justicia, pero creo que tenemos que ser fieles a nuestras convicciones y realmente tratar de crear un mundo donde haya justicia para todos, con libertad, porque queremos vivir con libertad, queremos vivir.
To do as kids growing up in New Orleans. Every kid in elementary school had to make a float. And you make it out of shoe boxes and you just decorate them. Mine this year was, since Chadwick Boseman died, my theme was Black Panther. And so this brought me back to when I was a kid. Since we didn't have a Mardi Gras, I was like, this is a cool project for us to do. So every year we might pick a theme and do one, so. What do you want to do for breakfast?
What are you cooking? We took the test together.
The civil service test,
Yeah.
yes.
I helped to investigate child abuse and neglect. I wanted to find another way to be of service to people. I just had to find which department that looked like.
I've seen a couple cases where I've had to call Department of Children and Family Services. Haven't had a chance to overlap with her yet, but I do see my fair share of it. Not too much, but I have experienced it before, you know.
And I think while you're at work, I'm gonna go visit your sister if she's not working.
I think she's got to work tonight.
Well, I'll go see your grandma.
Yeah.
Come on, Cheese.
Patrol where I grew up and actually where I'm familiar with. Closer towards the Gentilly area and closer toward the Lake Pontchartrain area. I have my dad's mom that lives where I patrol. I have my mom that lives where I patrol. I have my mom's dad that lives where I patrol. I played sports year-round when I was a teenager, and that definitely helped me, you know, stay focused. It helped me stay focused in school, actually. You know, if I didn't get good grades, I wasn't gonna play. And I was playing year-round, 3 different sports. Playing football for 18 years of my life. I was a team captain in high school, I was a team captain in college. Being on the streets and, you know, working with my coworkers, we have to have that aspect of teamwork. It definitely helps when we interacting with the public.
The damage that happened during Ida, the way the community is bonded together, the way that we're trying to overcome this adverse situation, New Orleans is built for adverse situations.
Parts of the Saints team are in Texas. Today we're in Florida. We've been through this before. Our culture is strong. We are here with you, and we are going to represent for you.
I have the community's back like they've had my back. So it's only right that we try and get some help out there soon.
So today we're with Culture Aid NOLA. They're giving out bags of groceries to different families. Grocery stores here in New Orleans are pretty bare. The city was without power for about 3 days. So of course, everyone had to throw away any and everything that was in their refrigerators.
Finding the strength in me. I'm searching out for something, finding my way.
This is my community, so when they're in need, I'm in need.
Hoping that tomorrow is better than today.
There's a lot of destruction. We realized very quickly how bad and how long it was going to be before we got back to normal. Coming here and work just as a citizen, it's more of a gratifying feeling.
All we gotta do is be feeling.
Over 700 bags will be feeding 300 families.
I'm searching out for something, finding my way.
New Orleans has my heart. It's always had my heart. When New Orleans grasps a hold of you, you can't let it go, and you don't want to. I've never thought of relocating, moving, anything like that. So for me, we have to continue to rebuild. We have to continue to be resilient. Everything about the city is about togetherness. We're all about helping our neighbor. New Orleans has always been a never quit, never die type of thing.
I'm searching out for something, finding my way.
At work, it's very easy to get tunnel vision, and I'm here to do this, and I'm taking calls, and I'm writing reports, and I'm going home. But I think that sense of community is what a lot of police officers are missing.
All we gotta do is be fearless.
Everything about the city is about togetherness. We're all about helping our neighbor, and so having that culture here just continues to show how strong the city can be.
Okay, we take a picture with
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
They say Texas, Oklahoma about to really go to SEC though.
You think so? Really? I think A&M's like...
La señora con la que yo trabajaba era apasionada y lo amaba a él.
Oh, she said she worked with a lady who was so inspired by and loved you so much, and so she knows all about you through the lady she worked with.
Love it, love it. I've got real questions on how does one get fluent? I feel like I've picked up, like, what's the best way to go fluent?
Honestly, it's immersion. Like,
Damn it, I keep hearing about this.
But you can take classes too.
No. Lo que tiene que hacer es juntarse con nosotras y va a aprender.
He said you have to just hang out with us so that you can learn, because it's immersion.
Then I'll just be sitting there like, I don't...
Cam has clearly like done his homework about what matters to people in the city, and he also like is just an engaged citizen his whole life. So when you have someone who's able to bring their platform and a great informed, rooted, critical perspective, like that's like a match made in heaven, and we're just extremely lucky to have his support. Let's start getting the ideas going about things that came to your mind about like actions we can take to support the folks that we saw based on the things that we learned.
So sitting here, I mean, I always hear from the patrol officers that there's a disconnect between there and superiors, and the word superiors in this one meeting has been dropped at least 50 times. If we have protocols coming from top down, like, hey, this is how we're gonna do things, there's gotta be a response from us as players, like, bro, this may work on paper, but it doesn't work in reality. We don't have all the tools available. There should be a direct relation to, I understand what you guys think works or what you guys did back when, but today, now, here, this is how things have to be. So the question would be, what is the solution or how do you go about it? When you think about a police officer or a policing entity in this community and the relations that sort of already exist with pre-existing discomfort, seeing how receptive you guys are to listen and hear these speakers talk. It's awesome about just where your heart is, where your mind is, and how you guys want to actually help change the efficacy of the policing entity. And hopefully this will create a positive change. And that right there is the greater, broader hope